Talk about limits and risk and how to avoid both. The basics are stick to the common sense test. What does that mean? The way that you want to appear as an arbitrage bettor is more like a square bettor, and you want to fly under the radar. That means doing things that do not make you look that suspicious. The average bettor is not going to be placing bets on obscure markets. They're going to be placing bets on things like this, the main lines. It is less likely that they're going to be hitting alternate lines like alternate spreads and alternate totals. It's even more unlikely that they'll be hitting player props and alternate lines on player props. These are about as obscure as you can get and ultimate no-nos. You really do not want to hit these kind of lines. Lines like quarters and halves are also kind of obscure markets that you really want to try to stay away from if you can. Halves are a little bit more lenient, but quarters are things that'll get you limited immediately. The main thing you want to do is try to stick to main lines. Just because you see an alternate line in the arbitrage doesn't mean you necessarily need to hit the alternate line. When you see a broken line, it affects the entire market. That means the entire set of spreads or totals or whatever market that it's in. Therefore, if you see a broken line and it's an alternate, you might as well go and hit the main line. You can hit the main line, you can get more money down, and you fly under the radar longer. Another thing to keep in mind is placing bets in round numbers. Do not ever place a $10 bet with 50 cents, with 59 cents. That is about the most obvious thing you can do that makes you look like you're an arbitrage bettor. Arbitrage bettors are trying to get the exact same payout on both sides. When they see obscure numbers like this, it makes you look totally suspicious. So just round up to the nearest 5 or 10. And if you're betting in higher unit sizes in the thousands, just round to the nearest 50. At the end of the day, it's all going to even out in the long run, so don't sweat over 25 or 50 bucks. I will mention it again. Another thing that you can do to avoid limits is never double tap a line. There could be a 20, 40, 50% ARB sitting there, and it's on DraftKings, and this line is completely busted. It could say over 1.5 points at plus 800. If you hit it once, do not hit it again. Do not get greedy. Your account will get limited. Another thing is do not self-ARB. For example, if there's a broken line that you hit on DraftKings and it corrects itself, let's say you get this over 2.5, but it's plus 800. It corrects itself and it goes back down to minus 125. You'd think that you could just take this under 2.5 and hedge it. Never hedge a bet on the same sportsbook. You're basically telling the trading team, hey, I'm an arbitrage bettor. I'm an advantage player. I know what I'm doing. And they'll limit your account immediately. So always hedge somewhere else. Another thing that you can do if you don't want to hedge is just go over to your bet slips and check your cash out value. When they fix the price of the market, it'll be reflected in the cash out value and you can just cash out instead of hedging. Another thing to do is limit your withdrawals. We've talked about this before, but it's super important. The longer that you can go without withdrawing from your sportsbook, the better. It triggers a review on your account. And if they see that you have a bunch of obscure bets on your account, you're going to get limited. Something else you can do between your arbitrage bets is place a couple $1 parlays on your account. If you use that account to ARB, just layer in some square bets to make your account look more normal. If your account gets reviewed by a trader, you do not want the last thing that they see to be a $1,000 bet on something obscure. The last thing you want to do is try to avoid hitting too many ARBs on the same sportsbook in a night. If you put down 7 $500 ARBs within a 2-hour window, that's probably going to look pretty suspicious. If you get a few in and your goal is account longevity, call it a night, count your schmeckles, and move on.